Welcome back to another preview from the Shipyard. Today we have Temporal Cold War 3, and we are talking about the Xindi Reptilian ship, and that is the Xindis. So we get a slash line of 4142, which is pretty good for attack dice. Nice ability here. 1 defense type, basically what we're used to. 4 hull, 2 shields. Not amazing, but for the time, pretty good. 2 shields is definitely a nice thing. And, of course, the named ability here. When firing a photon torpedo upgrade, place 1 less time token on that upgrade. So, pretty useful named ability. I'm not going to say that it's the best thing ever, but it's definitely something that you can make use of. I wish this ability was on the generic ship, but it's still an upgrade that is very usable. The unfortunate side to this ship is that it is only a 90-0 firing arc, meaning it's not the best suited for photon torpedoes. Or, when you do fire them, they have to be out of your forward firing arc. Now, you can do things to make that work, and there are some cards. The aft torpedo launcher from the USS Phoenix retail ship will let you fire photon torpedoes not in your forward firing arc. Yes, you have to pay a bunch of points to use it, but this would be a great ship to go cross-faction on. The nice thing is, the action bar is great. You get all the things you need in order to be a very productive ship. And you've got a tech slot, 2 weapon slots, and a crew slot, so you've got room for a lot of upgrades. The generic loses a shield, loses a weapon slot, so it's not bad, and a 4141 for 20 points is pretty useful. Again, not the absolute best thing in this game, but still something that is pretty scary, and especially in an era game, 4 attack dice is going to be really good, and in some missions, just, hey, 4 attack dice with battle stations, that's a useful and usable ship. 5 durability isn't amazing, but it's enough, and you're not always going to get one shot with that, so I'll take it. The maneuver dial for this is okay. It's not the best out there, but it's certainly not the worst. You get 2 hard turns at white, 3 at red, and a 3 come about. 4 green moves, which is basically what we expect these days. Cap out at a 4 straight. Always nice to see maybe a 5 straight in there, but then we're losing, like, a set of turns, and I think I'd rather have the turns here than a 5 straight. Yeah, I think this basically has everything that I'd like. You know, maybe I'd prefer those 3 turns to be white, but I'm not going to sit here and quibble over it. Yeah, I like what the Reptilian Warship brings here, and I think we're good. So, of course, photon torpedoes, spinning your target lock, placing 3 time tokens. If you put it on Xindis, it's only 2. But if you fire it from a Reptilian Warship, you get 1 extra attack dice, so now you're up to 5 dice. These can only be fired at range 2 to 3. That's not bad. And here's the kicker. They are only 3 points. And I think that for 3 points, you can do far worse here. These are the first torpedoes that I actually really like the pricing on them. So keep that in mind. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. I certainly hope that they are. If it is, then this is maybe a good thing. Retroactively, this would have made Klingon torpedoes cost like 3 points, maybe 4 points. I don't know that that would have made them super playable, but it would have made them more playable than they are now. Our tech is sensor encoders. If your ship is destroyed, all friendly ships within range 1 to 3 of your ship roll 1 extra defense die the next time they defend. Presumably that only matters this round. For 3 points, it's a bit expensive. This is the kind of tech that I would have hoped would only be like 1 point, just as a, hey, you're tossing it on there to fill a slot. But I'd probably run this on the Diaspora. I'd run it on a small little support ship and say, hey, you know what? Come and get me. If you want to blow me up, now my other guys get help. And if you don't, well, then I'm going to sit here and be a nuisance. It's not bad on the Xindis, but, better things exist. So, an interesting card. Something that works, but I think for 3 points it could have been better. It could have been something like get an extra evade token, or just place an evade beside their ship. rather than just one extra defense die, because we all know how fickle evade dice are. Watch the Shipyard videos because they're crazy. 6 evade dice and you get 1 evade and you go boom. Our crew member is Damron. When attacking with your primary weapon, if your attack hits the target ship, you may spend your target lock token to discard 1 crew upgrade on the target ship. He's 4 points, but this is an upgrade that could actually be very, very useful. Now you have to have them target locked, which, you probably are spending that target lock or wanting to spend that target lock to make sure your attack hits. But think about the number of times that your opponent has a very annoying crew member. Sulu, Shelby, Hood Riker, Paris, Bohica, Romulan tactical officers, Romulan security officer, Joaquim, Khan's best friend. You know, there's a lot of crew in this game. And if you can even sneak in 1 hit and spend that target lock, and now their crew is gone, they're in a lot of trouble. And this can be just a hit to the shield. And Damron could be a game changer. I don't know that he is an auto-include in every single list that you do, but he definitely gives me another reason to run Xindi. I love that he doesn't have restrictions like your shields have to be down, or your opponent's shields have to be down, or the damage has to be a critical, or, turn a crit into a normal hit to do this, or something. He just works, and that is very useful. So give this guy a look. I think he could be something, and I like that it exists, and we've got something here. Our captain is Colo, skill 5 with a talent slot, 3 points. When a friendly ship within range 1 of your ship is defending, during the declare target step, your ship may become the target of the attack instead of the friendly ship. Treat the attack as though your ship were at the same range as the friendly ship. Maybe not the perfect card. Weird that range doesn't change, but I like that he can take over an attack and force your opponent to attack you. We need more cards that redirect attacks. It's why Mirror Bashir is really good. It's why Core is really good. It's why Kivon is playable. So this guy has some potential, and he's not an action, and that's going to make him very, very useful. And right now, he is my star in this pack. I think that he makes Xindi a lot better. He gives you a reason to run 1 Xindi ship and run Colo and Damron, and you're good to go. And run the rest of your fleet however you feel like it. But this guy is going to be fun to build lists around. And of course, it's a captain with a talent slot, so we have to have an elite talent. And that talent is Dominant Species. When attacking during the modified defense dice step, you may discard this card to force the defending ship to reroll up to 2 of its defense dice. For 5 points, a discard, it's okay. I wish it wasn't a discard, but since it is, we live. Making someone reroll their defense dice is useful. They're going to modify their dice, and then you're going to force them to modify their dice, and you're going to take away evades. That's almost always going to be in your benefit. Evade dice are fickle, so them re-rolling evades is going to typically be a net gain for you. Is that always the case? No, because they may still have ways to get it back. But this is a card that's going to help you do more damage. I can see a build with Colo, Dominant Species, and Damron to make sure that your attack hits and you do damage, thus being able to discard a crew. So, is it expensive? Yeah, you bet. I really wish these things didn't cost 5, because I don't see this costing 5, but I like the effect. I really do think that it's worth something. That is Dominant Species. That is the totality of the Xindis prize pack. That's Temporal Cold War 3. But before I get to my overall thoughts, let me talk about Main Power Grid. That is the resource you're going to get for attending this OP. It costs 3 points as a base cost, plus 2 points for each hull value greater than 3 in your fleet. So that means if you have a hull 3 ship, and a hull 3 ship, and then a hull 5 ship, it's going to cost you 5 total points. If you have a 5-5-5, then it costs you 9 points. So, once per round, one of your ships may use one of the 2 abilities here. When attacking with your primary weapon, suffer 1 damage to your hull, and disable all of your remaining shields to roll 2 extra attack dice that round. Interesting. Or, when defending, cancel up to 2 of the attacking ship's attack dice and place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. Your ship cannot attack during the round you use this ability. Now, that raises the question, what do you do if you've already attacked? Can you even use option 2? I would lean towards no, because you've broken the second condition. But, yeah, still, I like the notion here. I think this is an interesting resource. 1 damage for 2 extra attack dice is better. You'd probably want to do this once your shields are mostly gone, or if you know that you're not getting shot, so disabling your shields isn't bad. I'd do it if I had a ship like Mirok, so I could just repair that whole damage every time. Yeah, I can definitely see some potential with main power grid. I think that there's a lot of interesting things here, and I think that once fleet captains go away, and maybe once officer exchange program goes away, that cards like this, and Ready Room, and Damage Control Team, and some others will see more play. So, sometimes it's worth just thinking and trying to think outside the box and see what's out there. So that is Temporal Cold War 3. Get out there, look on the WizKids event system for events near you. There are probably coming out in December and or January. Some stores take December off due to the holidays. Some get their events in like early December, like by the 14th or so. That will depend on your store, so find out. But yeah, that's what's going on with this. I like the Zindis. I think that it fills in some of the holes in the Zindi faction. I think that the 3 ships put together, the Diaspora, the Azadi Prime, and the Zindis, really make for an interesting faction. You've got 3 different ships and 3 really different ways of thinking about this game that when you put them together, you've got something that resembles a playable faction. So I like where this is heading. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a grand prize spoiler for Temporal Cold War up very soon, probably later today or tomorrow, and look forward to that. But until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.